back to another episode of Red.Comicsden, where we talk about all things comics here in Singapore. I'm your host, Viency, and I'm here with my co-host, Linging, and our very wonderful guest for today, Jerry Teo.
Hi.
Yay!
Hi, guys.
Welcome,
Yeah,
welcome, Jerry.
Thank you for
Thank you
inviting
for
me.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
With you coming here today, we now have 3 people from the Longkang Kitties.
You guys are collecting
podcast.
the kitties.
We're collecting all of them. Actually, do y'all have like a specific breed? Are y'all like a different kitty each?
Yes, we in our artwork we have Angie is the black cat, Dan is the orange cat, the chaos one. Yeah, he's total orange cat.
The
It suits him.
chaos. He brings the chaos, right?
Brings the chaos, yes.
Yes.
And I'm the grey coloured cat because I'm the oldest of the group because they always call me the old man.
The stable one, the cool
No,
chill
no,
one.
no, the boomer uncle.
The boomer uncle.
Yeah,
Boomer
always
uncle.
makes inappropriate dad jokes.
So other than Longkang Kitties, right, Jerry, he is also the creator of Rex Regrets, which we are gonna talk about today. Very cool. He's brought his sealed copies for us, which apparently for volume 1, he only has 4 left. So it's very like, oh, we don't open. So very grateful for that. He also is a freelance illustrator and you're a senior member of the Organization of Illustrators Council Singapore.
Yeah, that's right.
So a lot of things that you're really juggling and you're quite heavily involved in the local arts community. So we're very happy to have you with us here today. Then we can talk about all these different experiences. I think maybe you can start off first, just talk a little bit about how your journey as an artist began.
We can go all the way back. Like I think my biggest inspiration is my older sister. Yeah, because I've got 4 older sisters. The older sister, she used to have a art program during her JC days, and I saw her draw, and she kind of sat me down and taught me how to do things. And from there, it just started drawing and drawing and drawing. It's just something that, I guess I have some undiagnosed ADHD or something. So that was a thing I can focus on and I got really good at.
You hyper-fixated.
Yeah, kind of, And so I was drawing through primary school, secondary school, and so on. With the help of my aunt, convinced my mom, I should be going to LaSalle instead of going to an engineering program, which all my friends were going into. So that was the journey from a child to become an art student. And then after national service, I went to work in animation for a while. Locally, yes.
Oh.
Terrible. Don't join animation.
Yeah, I felt that. I was an animation grad. I feel like people watch the podcast now. And I stopped.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
Anyway,
I don't want to badmouth people
let's
because
not
I
go
got
into
friends who are teaching and they're really good teachers. And I've got like students from animation who are really good students as well. So from there, it was just a matter of went overseas for a degree, came back, and I decided to do freelance since then. So that was 15 years ago.
Wow, very extensive career.
15 years ago, yeah.
So you've been freelance for the last 15 years?
Yes, freelance, teaching at LaSalle part-time, hanging out with the OIC guys. So that's pretty much it. And playing a lot of video games.
Oh, which video games are you playing these days? Do you mind sharing?
Boring ones. I fly flight simulators.
Oh.
Yeah. But I fly with friends, so it's not that boring.
So
Oh,
y'all
that's
are like,
another level.
okay, I don't know Flight Simulator. So does this mean you're flying in the game together?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so you get scolding from friends like, hey, don't do that, that's not the right radio procedure, drop the bombs here.
Hey, that's a little bit of role playing involved.
A little bit,
like
yes.
you're pretending to be a pilot and
Yes,
everything.
pretending, very poorly pretending.
Oh.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm a bit lost, but when you play a flight simulator, what is the dynamic of the game? Like, how do you win, or what's the objective?
There's no winning.
So you're just flying around.
making it home alive is the win.
So you're flying around and there are bombs and you're fighting. It's a military
yes,
operation.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's primarily what I do. Then there are other smaller games, but Euro Truck Simulator.
Truck
Truck
simulator.
Simulator, yes.
Yeah.
It's one of those games where it's fun to play, but if you
Yes.
do it in real life, you're lower back pain.
Do you get your inspiration from games then, or like comics, or like how do you find inspiration for your art?
From real life, I guess. Even let's say, for example, for Rex, a lot of the antics that Rex gets into is like personal experience or experience from friends. There are moments where I cannot reach, So that kind of translates into a movement for Rex. So it's a lot of walking around with arms tucked in to pretend that you have short arms.
So when you're in your Rex mode,
Right.
then you will go around with your
Yeah,
short
yeah.
arms.
Yeah, and try to pick up my
imagine
cat.
his life.
Yeah.
Okay.
By picking out the cat.
Oh,
so,
that's interesting.
So that's kind of how the role playing kind of plays into how I'm not Rex, I'm Minion, and Rex is Rex. So
that's how your idea for Rex came about? Or do you have like a specific moment?
oh, there's a specific moment, very clear
yeah.
in my mind. You guys have heard of One Punch Man, right? So
Yes.
the manga One Punch Man, I think I can still remember it was like he was drawing. Yusuke Murata was drawing volume 7, and he has a live stream. And
the artist was live streaming.
yeah, I was live streaming
Amazing.
a particular page, right? So I was watching it because I just finished reading iShield 21 based on a recommendation from a friend. And I was watching his live stream. It's like, hey, I've got all the tools he has, so I kind of just drew along. And when I was drawing, I don't remember who is the artist, but I specifically remembered this book from many years ago when I was working animation. One of my co-workers, he brought this book, and there was crocodiles climbing mountains. He has single panel comics of crocodiles in really weird positions climbing mountains and stuff like that. So I was drawing a T-Rex rock climbing.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was the actual very first Rex
First
Regrets.
video.
Yeah. And then,
Happening while you're watching a live
yeah,
stream.
yeah. So I was
Ah.
watching. I was drawing along with Yusuke Murata, the grandmaster, right? It wasn't inspired from him. It was just that moment I knew the tools. I just started drawing. I didn't post that first one until I got 4. I had 4 Rex comics. I showed my wife, and she just chuckled along and yeah, I should post this. So I posted it. A lot of friends liked it. I think I went on for about 10, 12 panels, and then I decided to stop because I'm like, I don't know if I can do this for a long term. And then a few of my friends were saying that you should probably try something long term because it almost feels like the dinosaur jokes never end.
Yeah.
It just goes on and on.
exactly.
It
Right?
feels like you can make that joke
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of so many things.
It's still I've stopped for many years and there's still fresh ideas coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So from there I decided, okay, you know what? If I want to do this, I need a game plan. So I started listing out 30 to 50 ideas and I started checking them off on my one drawing and posting. Yeah. So it was pretty aggressive in the beginning.
So it all came naturally. Did you have iterations, or were there things that didn't work in this
Oh
process?
yeah, for sure. In the beginning, it's not that the joke didn't work. It's more of the angles. So how do you turn the T-Rex to such a way that it's showing the action in the funniest, most hilarious way, where if he cannot reach or if his arms too short, and the expression. So it was this deadpan expression for the entire time. And one of my friends, he's a lecturer in LaSalle animation. He sat me down and said, "Hey, dude, you either go fully realistic to make sure how it looks super ridiculous, or you go super cartoon, right, to make it fun and maybe a merchantable character." And being a lazy person, I
It's
decided,
cartoon.
yeah,
That's the way to
cartoon is
go.
easier. Yeah, a lot easier. Yeah. If not, I gotta argue with the paleontologists and all the paleo artists how this is not the most current version of T-Rex. This is 1985 T-Rex. Yeah, I don't want to get into that.
You said you started including your personal life in your inspirations.
Yeah,
I saw your
yeah.
recent post had your 3 cats. Is it 3 cats? Do
3,
you have 3?
yes, 3.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
3,
cute.
yeah. So I got an orange one. The most recent one is the orange one. It's a disaster, man. I shouldn't have kept him.
Oh no. Does he not gel well with the other cats?
No, it's too alpha.
Oh,
Yeah, he's too
he's
alpha.
that kind he
Yeah.
needs his own space.
Oh yeah, super needy. Yeah, he will when my wife and I are watching TV, he'll snuggle in between us, and the other 2 would have to hide because they don't get along. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
got him recently.
2019, just before COVID.
That's
Yeah.
quite a while already.
They're still they're not friends. We got a black one. Actually, it's brown. Her name is Brownie, and then we have Beth, the second one. She's a Tonkinese, so she's a pretty one. Doesn't wash her hand when she finished toilet using.
Oh, no.
So they like to cover their poop and everything, right? She
yeah.
just
Yes,
jumps
yes.
out. She poops and she just jumps.
Wow. That's rare for a cat. They hate having their
yeah. She's like, I'm
lots
not gonna.
of poop talk on this podcast today.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get my hands dirty, so I'm just gonna jump right out. It's terrible.
Then do you find yourself I know you pretend to be Rex, but do you feel like you have some similarities with Rex at all? Do you have your own regrets?
The similarity with Rex is the expression, right? Sometimes I'll do certain things and I'm like, that's my, if you ask my wife or you ask Dan or Angie, who are your former guests on this show, they'll say I sigh a lot. Because back of my head is like, oh man, I could have done this better. It took a while for my wife to get used to. So sometimes I'll go, oh man, moron. I'm not scolding her. She's like, you just call me a moron. It's like, no, I'm calling myself a moron. Because at that moment, I realized there's a better way of doing things. Oh man, moron, So that kind of things. So in that sense, I think I'm similar to Rex. It's almost like you do something and then instantly, a split second, you realize there's a better way of doing it, but you're committed.
You're committed now.
Yeah.
So Rex came first, right? Then how did the regrets part come about?
It's always been the alliteration Rex regrets. The caption for the first clip was Rex regrets joining this gym.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So because it's rock climbing, right? So Rex regrets joining this gym. The second one was him free falling. right? And his parachute handle is like flying behind, and he couldn't reach it, right?
Can't reach
So the caption was Rex regrets arguing with the instructor. Customer is always right.
So he got a storyline. He's just him at the gym.
Yeah, him at the gym and him jumping out of an airplane, arguing with the instructor because like the instructor is probably going, you shouldn't jump out alone,
Yes.
and he's like, no, customer is always right, and there are quite a few of those. Yeah, and then the third one was I think Rex regrets counting up to 5 because he's got 4.
Yeah, because he's got.
It's only his 2 claws.
Yeah. So that's how it's always Rex regrets. And
Right.
there are other characters as well, actually.
It's nice though, because it kind of sounds like you gave birth to the character and it was pretty fully formed, in that sense, which I think a lot of people, will hope that they can develop something so like catchy or funny immediately, but I don't think it happens that way.
Yeah, a lot of people want to do that. Like they spend years thinking of that one character that's like, oh, this is, relatable, funny, interesting. It's like a bit I can keep on carrying. It's really challenging. So it's kind of cool that you like kind of were able to almost stumble onto it and then it become like this brand that you can, not brand lah, but like this thing that you can carry with you for a long time.
Honestly, I'll say a lot of it's luck.
Yeah,
a lot of it's luck.
I don't think it's so much like stumbling into it. I think it also sounds like you were already a very good artist and you already had that like comic sense so not comic sense, the font. I mean like you had a comedic timing or like a comic knowledge to like create an idea like that from the get-go. I think that's the more important part, which is like, okay, that means that, I mean, obviously you're a very good artist, but like now we've gone from book 1 to book 2.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for how many years, Rex Regrets?
Since 2013, actually.
Yeah.
2013,
This is a very,
actually
it's
stopped
really great.
around 2019. Just kind of.
Yeah, you took a break.
Yeah, it was getting. It was more of a. I don't know if I can continue, and it's become like a routine. And when things become routine for me, it's just I'll do it later.
What made you feel like you couldn't continue?
It's not so much I couldn't continue. It's more of a I'm bored of this. I need to do something else.
It has been like more than 10 years.
Yeah. I think we can also talk a little bit about realities of being a creator I'm not sure about around the world, but in Singapore, it's really difficult because you get comments like, oh, is a Singaporean artist, why doesn't he draw about Singaporean stuff?
Huh? Someone
This was when-
someone has said that about Rex before.
Yes.
Guys, in the dinosaur era, there's no such thing as Singapore.
Singapore
right?
doesn't even have fossils. Perhaps we didn't dig deep enough.
No, I don't think the dinosaurs would have even made it to Singapore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think it's also like the environment forcing the fossilization situation to not happen. Yeah. So there's the reason why you see a lot of dinosaurs are being dug out in deserts and so on, because naturally there are geological situations that has to happen, because fossilization is actually very rare. Okay, let's not get into science. It's difficult because when you don't get the kind of positive feedback, right? Like, not necessarily mean you don't continue because there's negativity. It's more of positive feedback in a sense. The market's really small and it's difficult to break out. And if you want to break out, do you spend your own money? Like if you spend your own money, where the money comes from?
Yeah, a lot of artists locally who self-publish end up investing their own funds.
There was a huge problem, and because luckily for me, I guess I also stumbled into the right relationship because my wife works in advertising and marketing, so she has a lot of ideas, and she actually helped a lot in the initial stages of how to figure out what to market, how to post, social media presence, stuff like that. So eventually she didn't really do that much because she's really busy as well. But a lot of the ideas made it to like social media publishing, stuff like that. And then you get people resharing your work. They scrape off the watermarks and shit.
Yeah. And then now AI.
Yeah, bare minimum, let's give me a credit to my page, right? So there have been a lot of sites or Facebook pages that are actually really nice. They'll reach out for permission. And usually I'll just tell them, hey, look, just credit me. Drive traffic back to me, And if I post, engage with me, and so there's that drive back to my page. So a few of them are nice enough to do it. Usually those that understand the difficulties of being a creator and the respect for intellectual property, but for the most part, most people don't.
I kind of get the sense that a lot of these pages are run by like algorithms.
For sure.
They're not even run by human beings.
Yeah. It's difficult. You reach out to them and they don't reply most of the time.
But you've started posting again.
Recently, yes.
Recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you felt like you wanted to pick that back up again? Is it because you've stopped and then the routine has ended? Then
Yeah, exactly. I think that's part of it. That routine has disappeared from my life, and now it's like, oh yeah, I kind of feel the urge for it again. And also, people have been bugging me about Volume 3, so you can see that there's no tail.
Yes,
right?
it's supposed to be a complete like set.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be a complete set with a tail, and
so you set yourself
so
up
first
basically.
book was in
Yes.
2016.
Yeah.
Second book was in 2018. Then the third book.
this was a bad mistake. I should not have done this.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
You
So
need
that
to
means
give him his tail.
From book one onwards,
Yes.
you
Yes.
already knew it was going to be a trilogy.
Oh yeah, not really. From book 1 onwards, I already knew I'm gonna have more books, but I don't know it's this difficult to go to book 3.
You self-publish all the way, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
so,
really not easy.
Yeah, so front the money, work with the printing
Printer,
people,
distribute
the
yourself.
distribution, and so on and so forth. But I got a lot of help. I got a lot of help from people. Very fortunate to get help from people. The printer was actually a friend of mine who managed to get it done in Indonesia. The shipment, everything was through them. And then from there, the distribution also got a lot of help from friends in NLB, in a lot of places. They will go and, kacau Kino.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, do you stock this book? And Kino will be like, where am I getting this book? You should contact the artist. And that's
you
how.
gotta gacha Kino.
Yeah.
Whenever you want comics.
But the good thing is that they're quite responsive.
Yeah, they're quite responsive.
They'll actually follow up if you ask. Yeah.
Like previously when Kenny Chan was there, he's
Yeah.
really on the ball.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's back in Kino because he's kind of like coming out of retirement.
I think he still helps here and there.
Yeah.
But I think he not in an official capacity.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I thought he's like Miyazaki, like I'm retiring. No, I'm not. I'm retiring. No, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know what he's up to now. Maybe we
I'm
can
not
invite
sure
him.
also.
Should
Maybe
invite
he
him
should.
Yeah, you should.
on
You should.
Singapore,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
It would be
Yes,
very
yes.
It's probably got a lot of interesting stories to tell.
Yeah.
He's seen like the industry grow for like.
Yeah. And I think I do owe a little bit of success of Rex to him because I think he pushed for a lot of local books to be put up front, like eye level on the shelves.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
so that's definitely he's a credit to the local creator scene for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I don't think we pay him enough respect.
Other than, of course, Rex Regrets, you're actually very, very involved in like the local arts community and organizing for it as well. Like I mentioned, you were in OIC Singapore.
Yeah.
So maybe you can tell us a bit more about like what you do with OIC Singapore.
OIC Singapore is founded by 3 members, formerly Drewscape and Michael and what's the lady's name? Flea Circus. So Flea Circus have decided to quit illustration and become a tattoo artist. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't see any of her new work recently, it's because she's been busy tattooing, and I think her business is pretty good. Her reasoning is, if I work in the illustration industry, I give an invoice, it takes them 30 days.
Yeah.
Right? But if I tattoo an abing, the abing is like, I love my tattoo, I'm paying you right away, It's like,
Yeah, they pay. Sometimes you have to pay in advance.
Yeah,
And
you
then
know.
every time you draw, you're getting paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So every session they get paid, so it's like instant, man. I'm not gonna wait 30 days for an invoice to clear.
Yeah. For young artists, I think it's actually a very good. It's a very good skill to consider or career to consider.
Yes, yeah.
If you like drawing on canvas or paper, why not
Yes.
draw on
scale? Yeah.
I'm not sure if there'll come a point where you have a market saturation, but I think it's pretty cool that that specific genre like tattooing. A lot of my friends actually converted to become tattoo artists as well.
Same.
So it's quite interesting to know that there's this thing that's going, and the best part is a lot of them, if like overseas they like your work, you get invited like
To tattoo
yeah,
overseas,
fully paid for trips
yes.
overseas and all, so you can go there for a holiday. And that's nice, but I don't.
You're not a tattoo person
no,
yourself?
No, I'm not.
Not yet.
No.
Is it because of the commitment? For me, it's the
No.
commitment. I cannot. I know like 2 years later, I'll be like, why?
Yeah, maybe. I think I hope I don't sound off as coming off as arrogance. I appreciate the art, but I don't see myself as a canvas. Yeah, I like to keep it clean as it is. Yeah, but my wife tattoos. She has her tattoos, so it's not like I don't like it. It's just that I don't like it on me.
Yeah, personal choice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Andrew and Michael and Flea Circus,
Flea
they
Circus,
founded
yes.
OIC Singapore,
Yes.
and then like how did you like start
I think they founded in
involved?
2016, 2015. There was a time when I'm not in Singapore, so I was overseas doing my degree program. So when I'm overseas, I was in Canada, and in Canada they have this thing called CAPIC. So it's like Canadian artists, illustrators, photographers, graphic designers thing.
CAPIC, how do you spell that?
CAPIC.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So in the 70s, they realized that a lot of these artists, illustrators been exploited. Either they're not being paid on time or prices being driven down, basically not respecting IP, stuff like that. So all these image creators, they banded together and they went to rally the government to, hey, we should do this, we should do that. And when I came back to Singapore, I was like, okay, there's no such organization, right? So do I have to, I'm not the kind of person to lead things, so do I have to actually go down and sort things out on my own? But turns out I didn't. OIC is there. So it's good that they already have like a baseline. And when I joined, I was kind of like telling them, maybe we should kind of start doing this. I think we're kind of there, but not with OIC. I think NTUC stepped in. They have VICPA right now. It's a pretty good initiative, right? So
you say VICPA.
yes.
What is?
Can you elaborate about that for people who don't know?
Okay, I don't know very
Also
much
don't know.
about it. It's a program that is, I think, co-run by NTUC or run by NTUC. They're supposed to protect the photographers, image creators, graphic designers. So they'll have courses and things about IP, like your own intellectual property. How do you manage it? And they'll have talks about, with lawyers actually, like contract law, stuff like that. So it's actually pretty good. I've attended a couple of the talks, and the knowledge that they share is actually really, really important for freelancers. But of course, let's not get into longkang kitties, knowing NTUC, there is always some, subtext to it, possibly they want to sign you up for a CPF so you can voluntarily contribute. That's on the plans.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. Like, I think CPF is.
I think everybody would love to have regular
Yeah,
CPF contributions.
So that's kind of something that I think is coming up for the gig economy as well. So whenever you get like especially now, in fact, it's already started if I'm not wrong. If you are below a certain age and you take contract from GBiz, you are required to put in a certain amount to your CPF.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Oh,
I think a certain age, under 25, starting from this year or something.
From 25 or over 25?
Under 25.
Under 25.
Yeah. So they're like,
Why under 25?
Under 25.
because the rest of us are lost causes.
I mean, to me, it's like these under 25-year-olds, they really don't need the
But
CPF
they're
right?
probably also rarely using.
No,
like,
but the thing is, if you don't start at 25, by the time you're 65, you don't have anything.
I guess.
Right.
I guess.
I guess they just want you to start.
Start, yeah.
Start,
Get them while they're young,
And then for the older one, older
lost
ones,
cause,
lost cause.
Yeah.
But during COVID, I remember that because I think they basically gave out some aid packages.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think a lot of freelancers at that point had to scramble to start putting CPF. Because
Yes.
if you didn't have CPF contributions,
right.
they wouldn't be able to track your
right.
income and then give you the matching
Yes.
aid package.
Yes.
So that
So,
was very smart, actually. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I mean, CPF is not a good or bad thing in my opinion. Forced savings can be
yeah, it's
beneficial.
a thing we just have to live with. Yeah. But the thing is, I'm not like a strong proponent. But so going back to when I was in Canada, we had a full one year, 2 semester business program where we actually got to interact with freelancers from North America. And it's very different because the government actually don't take care of them that much, especially in the US. They have to really hustle, think for themselves, figure out their saving plans and stuff like that. So we're actually kind of well protected here in Singapore. My teachers, right, they were in the industry for a long time as well, like 30, 40 years freelancing. And because they have the protection of CAPIC, they understand all these things. And some teachers were like, but you understand all these things doesn't mean the student will graduate knowing all these things, right? So they brought in like people with experience, lawyers, tax people to come in and talk to us.
So that the college themselves.
The college
bring that
themselves,
in.
yeah. But I heard that they're ending the program recently.
Really?
Yeah. So
Oh,
there
no,
was
what like the program to educate the
Yes,
artists about
yes,
this, but that's
yeah.
like essential information. for
exactly.
freelancers.
Like I've been telling my friends in Singapore that if I were to go back and do all 4 years again, I would skip all 4 years and just do the final year with the business program, because that was probably the most important thing. Yeah, like all the core
yeah.
skills you can learn on it anytime on your own.
Nowadays there's like arts management and there's
Yes.
like arts business courses, but actually I think all artists that intend to graduate from art school, they must have this knowledge.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a little
exactly.
bit of business acumen is always
That's right.
helpful.
That's right. Yeah.
useful,
Yeah.
Like for example, right now I've shifted to teaching in fine arts program, and the first thing I'll tell my students is, you guys are going to graduate to become contemporary artists, or at least hope to become contemporary artists. Definitely, for sure, you should be thinking about how you can leverage on CPF or whatever, right? But the more important thing is, I ask them, what do you guys do in class, right? Like you guys talk to each other, right? You see each other's work, you see each other's skill levels. There's always that top dog in class,
Yeah.
and you should always challenge the top dog. You may not be as good at everything as the top student,
Yeah.
but you should try to challenge. Okay, I'm gonna take this student down with grades, in painting or in whatever. Like
Right.
Yeah.
so
Like holding yourself to a standard.
yeah. You are recognize that this person is kind of a sign of respect as well, right? So that happened to me in my LaSalle days as well. In my first year, we have this friend of mine, it's Jimmy. His name is Jimmy, real name. Good at everything. Right? A little bit older, finished his national service, but good at everything. Painting, graphic design. He plays music, he dances.
Oh, he's that kind
everything.
of like triple, quadruple threat kind of guy.
Everything, every single thing is an A.
Ooh.
Right? And we're like, so second semester, we're like, Jimmy, I'm gonna take you down this one. This particular one.
Did you tell him that to his face?
Yes.
Went up to him, he's like, I'm gonna take you down.
Yeah. It's a sign of respect. I'm gonna take you down in this thing. And that kind of inspired some friends who were like, yeah, I'm gonna take you down in drawing as well.
Right.
So that breeds a certain environment where you try to better yourself,
Yeah.
And that's why I tell my students.
Friendly competition.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're friends, but you have to be in competition with each other, because at the end of the day, when you guys graduate, right, you are going into an environment where you're not just competing against each other, you're competing against like
Everybody else.
everybody.
Yeah.
And not just everybody who graduate with your year.
Yes.
It's people above you.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be worried about people coming from behind, like the younger guys. I keep telling them, like you gotta think about your branding. Your branding is the most important. Then from there you learn all the business stuff around it. Yeah. Like how to market yourself.
It's like the realities of being an artist. Like it's
Yes.
not just the drawing, it's like the practice
Yeah.
of being an artist
Yes.
involves like the business part, the
That's right.
mentality,
Yeah.
honing how you can continue becoming like an artist for a long time. And that's like skills
yeah.
that
That's right.
like
Yeah.
you need to be able to like kind of build up when you're younger.
No, I
Yeah.
think it's the mindset also, because I mean a lot of people who go into art, they like they like
Yes.
what they do, and
Yes.
they're trying
Yes.
to express themselves and they're trying to enjoy the process. But then this whole element of like competition, maybe it doesn't come to them so naturally. So I
Yeah.
think it's really great that as a teacher you tell them, like on day one, like guys, you're all gonna be. I mean, it's true, right? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, it
if
is.
you're competing for opportunities, there's only one person in a show that's going to be the star
Exactly.
or whatever. You guys
Exactly.
gotta fight for that, and it's not going to be given to you on a plate. You have to fight for
Oh
it.
yeah, for sure.
Forever.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the
and
worst
you
thing.
got to be prepared for that.
Yeah, you gotta prepare for that. And the worst thing is effort does not equate success.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's very true.
So I did tell them, like, you guys do well in class, I give you an A, right? But in the future, when you guys are outside, you put in effort, people might not appreciate it, or you put in effort thinking you'll win, but someone with less effort wins because conceptually the work is better.
Or like it's on trend. Maybe
Yeah.
someone is more on trend than you, and then
That's right, that's
like,
right. Yeah,
you
I
look
know.
at artists with like millions of followers, and
Exactly.
then are they better artists? It's very hard
It's
to
like
say,
not
but you are
Yeah.
losing. You are
Yeah.
losing in
Yeah,
some sense,
yeah.
and that feeling sucks.
It sucks,
Yeah.
man. It sucks.
Yeah.
So bad. Going back to that and bringing it back to OIC, that's kind of how OIC is positioned. We want to reach out to the younger artists, illustrators who are coming up. Hopefully, we can catch them before they start lowballing the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't help anyone. If they lowball, they're gonna get jobs, but they're never gonna climb that ladder of being able to price it higher. And I also did tell some of the younger artists that there will always be people who are refusing to pay for art, so you don't have to worry about those people.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
They aren't the people you're talking to.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah.
I understand controversial comments about AI art. I understand a lot of my friends are really up in arms about being outcompeted by AI art. But my personal take is now it's night and day. It's clear. I don't have to worry about the 99% of people who are fine with AI art. I'll just focus on the 1% who's willing to pay. You kind of think like the music industry, right? Everyone who has heard 2 words from the sound, from the song that you're playing, have to pay a royalty fee.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about that anymore. You just focus on the people who pay for the CD.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
I think
that's true.
it solves my problem. I don't have the resources to market to 99% of people.
The likelihood of the 99%,
Yeah, exactly.
not really understanding the effort that goes into the art as well.
You know, so it'd be great if out of the 99%, another 1 or 2% can convert, right? But if they cannot afford it, then they cannot afford it. I'm poor as well, so you know there are things I cannot afford.
It's an understandable situation.
I think it's very important to like just appreciate and like nurture that 1% that you have.
Exactly.
Yeah, that 99%, you know, you can waste so much time, you know, like trying to knock your head against the wall. It's hopeless.
Speaking of nurturing, you're also actually one of the key organizers of the 24-hour Comics Day, and there's a lot of like younger artists that also go into doing that, and veteran artists as well. So how did you first get involved in that?
It was an independent thing. It was brought in by, you guys know Chingju, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Chingju was the instigator. He says, sorry Chingju, I have to badmouth you. He says a lot of stuff, but he's like, hey, y'all go and do lah. You know, but I mean, he's the outside non-practicing observer saying that, hey, you know, other industries are doing this, you guys should be doing. So it's not a bad
script
thing.
writing. I think the first one I heard of in Singapore was the 24-hour script writing.
Right.
Like competition.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if he was involved in gaslighting people to start that, but
that was like 20 years ago. I don't know if you guys started 24-hour Comics Day after that or
after,
the same time.
So the version of the 24-hour comics, if I'm not wrong, you can check with him on that. I think Johnny Lau has done it before, like in the early 90s when he was still much younger and sprightly.
Still sprightly.
Sprightly, actually, yeah. I'm not sure it was him or someone else. I cannot remember, but I remember it was around that time. The current version of 24-hour Comics Day is based off Scott McCloud. I don't know
The
if you guys...
international version,
Yeah,
right?
international version, yeah. Scott McCloud, Understanding Comics, the author of Understanding Comics. So he came out with it. I don't remember who he challenged to do it. Might have been David Eastman, the Ninja Turtles guys. That was the one that's popularized, and that's the one that we're using. And it started off when Chengju asked the former organizer, JF. I'm not sure if you guys know him, JF. So JF was the one who started it. He brought it in 2011. 2010, sorry, 2010. Yes.
Oh, so this
2010.
is before Rex Regrets.
Before,
already.
yeah, a few years before.
Very long already then.
So 2010 was the first one I didn't go because I didn't know it was happening. So 2011 I went, it was my first time. And from there I just started doing it. I did it for 5 years in a row. Yeah, so I managed to get 5 done in 5 years, completed everyone, and I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. It's too much.
I think
So now you're helping out
Yeah,
instead.
so I started helping out more, and eventually JF handed it over, and we just took on the organizing. I'm not doing that much work. It's actually a lot of it's done by Yu Xiang from NLB. Yeah, so he's the one that has all the resources. You know, it's like, hey, we're gonna book this room and we're gonna do it this day. Yeah, we just go there and help out.
I feel comics.sg we should probably get involved also.
Yeah, because I was thinking it'd be so useful, like
with the anthology.
WIP program.
Exactly,
Paul comes down every year to give a 5-minute talk on the WIP program.
Oh, yeah.
So I think 2022, one of the ladies from the zine making club, she actually submitted her work from 24-hour Comics. And I think it got picked up. I'm not sure.
Was it Marianne?
I think so.
Marianne, yeah, she did. It was this year.
Oh, yeah,
I was one of the judges for
nice.
it, actually.
All right, Marianne.
Yeah,
okay.
Mary. Yeah,
Good job,
we liked it a lot.
Yeah.
It was about like
Yes.
this alien duck going on adventures. It's super cute.
I didn't know about that. Yeah. Good job. Yeah,
Yes,
good job,
it was
Marianne.
really nice.
She's been doing 24-hour Comics for a long time as well.
Yes, yeah, she did say like during the presentation, there was a presentation to the judges and she was talking about how like the idea for that comic came from the 24-hour Comics Day. So it's like a very full circle moment that we're having here right now.
Awesome. Yeah.
Actually, I mean, for the people who watch our podcast but have no idea, can you tell us a bit more about what happens at 24-hour Comics Day?
Okay, 24-hour Comics Day, you're supposed to do 24 pages in 24 hours, right? So you decide how much detail you want to put into your pages. So if you want to go fully nuts, you know, and try to do like a Otomo Akira style, you can do that. You die. But you can do that, right? Most people don't. It's actually a really good platform for you to, especially for people who are procrastinating. You go, you spend that one day to really flesh out the idea that you have for a very long time. At the end of it, whether you make it or not doesn't matter. The important thing is you put in the effort to like thumbnail, storyboard, script out the thing in that weekend. You can call it done. Or you can continue after. You guys had Wayne on this podcast,
Yes.
right? So Wayne's partner in crime is Benjamin
Yes,
Chi.
Yes.
Yeah, have you guys got him as well?
We have
I
invited
think.
him, but I think he was not as interested to be on screen as much as Wayne was. Yeah.
Benjamin Chi, he had this char siu space.
Yeah, char siu bao.
Yeah, char siu space was an idea that started out as a joke between us during one of the 24 Comic Days events. So I was walking with him to get lunch. He was saying that, hey, I gotta get a bag of char siu for a friend. He didn't have any ideas that day, so he came in like a blank check, And I was just saying, wouldn't it be funny if your story is about you like going on some supernatural adventure to get char siu for him? And he's like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Because he's a foodie as well, so it just evolved into like these 5 comic books about this char siu in space. So like this some galactic empire sending assassins.
Like a world that he's built now.
Yeah. And that was an entire story world created from just 24-hour comics.
Yeah, I love that story actually, because I think really like for artists or creators, if you give yourself that time and that space to create, then you can get inspired by so many things.
Yeah.
Especially each other artists as well.
That's
who
right,
give
that's
you
right.
good ideas.
Yeah.
And then when you're sitting down, it's like the deadline helps. I know like sometimes you have this idea that you are thinking of, but it's so amorphous in your brain.
That's right,
then
that's right.
you have other things to worry about in your life and you don't have the time to really sit down and think. And sometimes having this really like this one moment where you just go full on and try and do something about it, and getting started is like the first step.
Because everyone is there working,
Yes.
you feel the pressure,
So
you want
motivated,
to
right?
work. I won't name names, but we had one guy as a regular. He has never finished a 24-hour comic.
Oh.
Yeah, he's challenged many times. And during one of the years, right, JF and myself, we rally everyone, all the friends that he has made over the years. Whenever he comes to your table to ask, hey, show me your stuff, he's like trying to become an artist, an illustrator, but he's also a fan of other people's work. So he'll often just, oh man, I don't know what to draw. I'll go and read other people's stuff. So that year we said, whenever he comes to your table, just tell him, go back to work, right? And it helps. Like everyone's telling him, dude, go back to work. And that was the first time he completed his 24-hour comic sometime.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
It's
I'm
support
curious.
as well.
Yeah, support, yeah.
Is he? So he's like an artist now. He finished his comic.
No. I think that artist thing is probably a kind of like a pipe dream for him.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's already doing much better than a lot of people who are not actually touching. They're like, I want to do this, but I'm not getting into it. So he's put in the effort. It's just that realities of life. You can't make a living from an artist's pay.
Yeah, but you can spend 24 hours making a 24-page
You can spend 24 hours on 1 year making a 24-page comic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we meet a lot of artists or like writers who come to us and then they're like, oh, I want to make a comic book, or like, I want to do this. How do I get started? Then I actually think just go down to 24-hour comics. They make friends with artists, make friends with writers. Some writers go down also,
Yeah,
right?
some writers go down.
Some people go as like a team or like a group, and then just bang out whatever it is that you need to do. Yeah, that's the best way to get started, man.
Yeah, there's no shortcut. It's the long shortcut. It's doing it the right way.
So just for everyone to know, beyond just it happening on NLB, it's also happening online, right? Like on Discord. So is it still happening this year?
We try. But most of our attention is on the live section.
On the live section.
We do have a satellite group at Nanyang Polytechnic. They're running their own thing. So NYP, one of the teachers, Dida, she has her own like little in group. I would guess it's easier to supervise because there's a lot of distractions. If you go to Bugis, it's like, I'm going to McDonald's. I'm going to Bras Basah to pick up our supplies, and then you go to Basha and you don't come back.
Right.
Yeah. So it's probably a little bit more control over there. The teacher can supervise the students, and I guess the parents also won't have to worry that much. But the only thing is, if I'm not wrong, they're not allowed to stay overnight, so they split in 2 days.
I'm just curious, about this staying overnight thing. So for the NLB one, do people get to stay overnight in the library?
They bring their sleeping bags all.
Sleeping bag. Do they shower?
No.
Are there shower facilities?
Oh, okay.
Shower
Bring your
before you go down.
deodorant.
Yes, bring the deodorant.
Bring your deodorant, bring your
deodorant.
face wash and
Shower,
yeah.
deodorant,
Brush,
face wash,
But anyway,
toothbrush.
you guys should go down.
Should. It's happening on the first weekend of October.
First weekend of October
Yes.
this year.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys have time to prepare, okay, think of your idea and everything. I think we've talked about a lot of things today, but maybe just to wrap things up for today, I kind of want to know, what do you kind of hope to see from creators who join your events in the future? You've been to all these events for so long, you've seen so many creators. What are you excited, you hope to see?
I hope to see new things, but unfortunately, I also know that, it's difficult in a sense because we're always operating with limited budgets. And you need to really set aside budget to create new things. Don't look at the price per unit of the MOQ, right? And say, oh man, this is so cheap. I'm gonna make 500 of these. If you were to make 500 of something at $1, it's $500, right? You could make 20 of them at $8 each, right? For 160, but you'll sell the 20. If you were to go cheap and say, oh man, I can save so much money on the MOQ, right? You'd be stuck with 480 pieces of, especially like pins, and if something like it's a meme moment, that meme is so dated in 5 years or even 5 months that, it's not moving anymore. So I think that's probably one of the things that I would say, to creators is to put out content that is timeless and not on trend. If you are true to yourself, I think you probably can put out something that's timeless. If you are always chasing trends, then it's great because you're always pushing for new products. But it's not great because every time you try to capitalize on trend, it's a scramble to pull together resources, budgets, and get things done and get it out before the trend dies. Otherwise, you're stuck with 500 trinkets. I don't presume to know everything about doing business, but working within my budget has helped me a lot.
Yeah. I think this applies a lot to comic books as well.
Yes.
Like some creators, they're like, I'm going to print 1,000 copies, for example. It's cheaper, it's offset printing. But really, do you want to sell 1,000 books? It's a lot of work.
Can you sell 1,000 books in say for example Illustration Arts Fest? I don't even know if I can sell 80 now.
Yeah. And actually, I mean, to me, I always feel that there's nothing wrong with starting small.
Yeah.
You can print as a zine,
exactly.
bind it.
Exactly.
Actually, a lot of artists with a lot of experience, that's what they're still doing.
Yeah, you can hedge your
Drew
bets. Drew
Scape he's gotten it down to an art, right? He can go home and print some things and put something together and on the table within 3 hours. It's amazing, and he sells out. People like his stuff. So I guess building a brand for yourself is probably more important than the little products that you put out.
Yeah. And sometimes chasing trends, I mean, you can keep pumping up fan art and all that, but you're not really building the brand.
That's right. You're building a skill, but you're not building your brand.
You're building an audience as well, but whether that audience comes to you for your original stuff becomes a challenge. Yeah. So thank you for sharing with us all your advice, to local artists, your experience also with the illustration scene in Singapore. Honestly, I feel like I would love to stay here and keep talking to you about all these things, but we are close to wrapping up for today.
Okay.
But before that, we have a very special gift as thanks to you.
Okay, cool.
Yes, so we're gonna bring that. Okay, our unboxing today is a bit different.
Oh, what's this? Okay, I'm just gonna put it here so I don't drop it. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh wow, it's a mug.
Oh wow.
It's the mug we've been using today.
Yours is a very special one.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I saw it. It's so cute.
Cool. I don't know if you guys can see this.
This is really great.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Rex
nice.
is in space.
Nice. Sorry, my eyes are going. So this is a problem with getting old. Aside from 24-hour Comics Day, which is happening in October, this year is going to be 5 and 6 October 2024. OIC Singapore is also doing, again, the Illustration Arts Festival.
Yes.
Oh, yay!
Yeah, so this year is going to be
exciting.
July 4 to 6, the weekend. Yeah, I
Okay,
think...
mark that down on your
Yeah,
calendars,
I don't
guys.
think it's going to change because I believe we're working with the events management team, and the events management team is tight. They're on the ball. So they probably are already on it. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. July
Okay.
4 to 6. The weekend of July 4 to 6. Yeah.
IF is a champion of a lot of original art
Yes.
material.
Yeah.
So I love going to IF and
That's
I've
right.
been seeing a lot more comic stuff more
Yeah,
and more
yeah.
over the years.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys check
Please,
that out.
yeah, please go to IF, check out local. IF will also have a lot of regional artists, so it's gonna be alternative stuff, art styles, comic books and stuff like that. So it's anything that's not mainstream, non-fan art, you'll find at IF.
Thank you again to Jerry for coming down today to talk about, Rex Regrets and also organizing for the local community. today. And I also want to thank the WIP program for sponsoring, this podcast. Of course, the WIP program is an initiative by Singapore Comic Con to help aspiring creators get published, get support as well. If you like this episode, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we also have a Discord community down below in the description box. So thanks again for joining us for this episode of Red Dot Comics Den, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye.